What's up, everybody? We're on a podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Clive Barker's Hellraiser revival. We got it today. This was obviously that quick turnaround kind of thing. Saber announces they're going to do something today, and they immediately post this teaser that very much, I made a video on Podcast Now Plus, very much seemed like Hellraiser, and we got it. And not only did we get it, but ladies and gentlemen, it's a single-player game. And at this point, I'm being like, I sometimes exaggerate for comedic purposes. I'm being genuinely honest. I don't really care how good it is. I don't care if it's like bad. I care that they actually are doing a single player game, okay? Because we talk about it time and time again. It's not that I hate the Dead by Daylights and Friday the 13th and the asymmetrical type stuff. In fact, I love a lot of those games, but I don't know why we need to default to those type of games for horror games in the same way of like the arena fighter stuff for like anime games. I feel like there's always more we could be doing with these games versus putting them in that box. And although it's a good box, and box actually, funny enough, with a game like this, let's get out of that. So that's the first thing that, they announce it. It's a single player game. You're going to be fighting in this thing. We see just a little bit of that at the end of the trailer, but that is, to me, I don't even care what they showed today, which I think they showed an okay amount, and it looks phenomenal. But what the game actually is makes me so freaking happy that, you could have done it, walking around the labyrinth, chasing people, the Cenobites, they're your allies. And by the way, this is from the team that made Evil Dead the game, which would have been rather similar to this. Now, I will say one thing that does scare me just a little bit, okay? It's the team that made Evil Dead. I actually think that's one of the most creative multiplayer horror games that has come out in the last 10 years, okay? So that I would give them a plus on. How that's been handled has not been good, but I largely don't want to blame the development team for those things. But they also made that Retro Realms game that came out, I believe, last year. Now, they gave me a review code for that game. That game, to me, is just not all that good. I think it was overpriced. I think it's fine, but it's really not much more than fine. So I really hope, because this is obviously such a new direction, new scope, that this is going to be fine and we can kind of disconnect it from what they've made previously. As for what it is, what I got to be careful of, and I've probably already shown, snippets of the trailer. So there's a Red Band trailer and there's an announcement trailer. I'm going to be showing just the announcement trailer. The Red Band trailer shows more things and then also shows more blood. The girl in that trailer, worse things happens to her in the Red Band. They show more than not the Red Band. So that, that's the age restricting 18 up. But you know what? I'll also give them props. We haven't even talked about the game itself yet, but just more and more praise I want to give. The tone. Like, you think about Hellraiser and you think about, it's extreme. It is. You think about the original film and kind of how it got its name, how people knew of it, right? It goes for kind of crazier stuff, and the themes are kind of otherworldly. Clive Barker, you can thank for that, right? But, you have to lean into that. If you're going to make a game, you can't just shy away. You can't make it a PG-rated Hellraiser thing. You have to go for it, and they're doing it. In fact, I think they actually talk about that. They did a PlayStation blog post. So they talk about it being a single-player, first-person, action, survival, horror experience. They'll put you in the dark world of Clive Barker's twisted imagination. From the moment we started this journey, our team has poured every ounce of passion, creativity, and determination into crafting what we believe will be the definitive Hellraiser gaming experience. You will play as Aiden, the protagonist in the story, who must fight with various melee and ranged weapons and use the mystical powers of the Genesis configuration to take down unholy enemies, finding a way to survive your bargain with the infamous Pinhead and help your girlfriend Sunny escape is never as simple as it seems. In a world filled with Cenobites, cultists, deviants, and the realm of torture and pain that is the Labyrinth. Speaking of the story, we have been greatly privileged to consult with Clive Barker himself to make sure that this new chapter in the Hellraiser storyline is authentic to the vision of his iconic Hellraiser films. The Hellraiser universe is defined by its unflinching exploration of pain, pleasure, and the thin and terrifying line that separates the two. The essence is at the heart of our game. We are embracing everything that makes Hellraiser unforgettable and weaving it into an experience designed to leave you shocked, exhilarated, and yes, just a little bit disturbed. Because let's face it, what is a horror game if it doesn't leave a mark on you, body and soul? We can't wait to reveal more in 2025. Come with us, for we have such sights to show you. So I love the passion there. There's the callbacks, there's all that stuff. It just feels like they're doing so many things right. right. You know, I mean, you get Doug Bradley back to play Pinhead. You have Clive Barker consulting on it. It does look good. Now, obviously, you know, 80% of this thing is just a cinematic stuff trailer, right? But you imagine, like, that's a lot of the setup, right? They're being summoned and they come and they take, and then you have to go follow. Like, you know, I'm okay with that. I think the visual presentation looks freaking good. And sometimes you need CG, by the way, to kind of explain how the game, like, is going to actually look, right? Then you get to the actual gameplay, which, again, I mean, it's like 3, 4, 5 scenes. You get some stealth stuff. You get some hand-to-hand stuff. You're actually using the box to take out an enemy. You're being chased by, like, the Chatterer, I believe. So, like, I think the first game that came to my mind personally was A Quiet Place. Now, A Quiet Place, I also don't think is, like, all that amazing of a game, but I actually think it's rather solid. I think I like that game more than I thought I was. And, you know, I don't know. Like I just said in the beginning of the video, if we get these discount type games, and not that they're all that discounted, that's the thing, right? They're 5-6 hours, they're cool enough, they don't, you know, they're not going to win Game of the Year or anything, but like if we can put our horror experiences in that Quiet Place, Hellraiser, if we can kind of match. And I've already seen people say, like, hey, let's do Nightmare on Elm Street. Can you freaking imagine a Freddy Krueger? And I mean, you can get him back too, by the way. Because, you know, gaming is just so different. Like, these people are in their 60s, 70s. You can do that in a game that you can't necessarily do in a movie. I think a Friday the 13th thing, a single player, I've always said Scream would be my number one. I'm just so happy about that part. And I do think the game looks rather good. The labyrinth and some of the, like, there's some encounters with enemies where I just feel like some of the textures, like, on their clothes doesn't look like it's fleshed out and stuff. Not, again, no pun intended. It doesn't look like fully done. But the thing is I don't think this game is coming out in 2025. It's probably at least a 2026 or later game. So they have some time. They have that polish, and I'm just super happy. You know, I'm not. I've said before, I think in the prediction video, that I thought they were going to make a Hellraiser game. I'm not the biggest fan. I have seen the first movie. I've watched a lot of video essays on the highs and lows of the Hellraiser films. I do know the history. I know Clive Barker, you know, him being in it, and then also when he was not in it, Doug Bradley when he was in, all that stuff. Some of, like, the discount, like, freaking straight to DVD type stuff. I do kind of know my lore at least enough, so I'm excited. I think it's a great franchise and one that deserves something like this. And again, I'm really happy that they're doing it this way. So, and it seems like we're going to get more of this year, so that'll be exciting. I'll cover that when that happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.